that is Adivasis and stereotyping. In India, we usually showcase Adivasi communities in particular ways. Thus, during the school function or other official events, or in the book or in the movies, Adivasis are invariably portrayed in very stereotypical way in colorful costumes, headgear, or the other through their dancing. Besides this, we seem to know very little about the realities of their lives. This often wrongly lead to people believing that they are exotic, primitive, and backward. Often, Adivasis are blamed for their lack of advancement as they are believed to be resistant to change or new ideas. You will remind that you read, you read chapter 6, class 6 book, how stereotyping particular communities can lead to people discriminating against such a group. We know when the school annual function day, we are making some of the dance forms of the Adivasi people, or we are making the dressing style of the Adivasi people, bamboo dance and other things with their own dressing style, and we are thinking that that is the only thing what they know. But if you are living 10 to 15 days with Adivasi, you will come to know what a rich culture they are having, what a rich values they are having, like that you can understand. So knowingly or unknowingly what is happening, it in the movies they are I noticed in many movies about the Adivasis, we are showing the different means the straw houses and the temporary houses of the Adivasi people. So we are thinking like that they are making only this means the temporary houses, but the bamboo house what they are making, that may remain for 10 to 20 years. How we are making the this cement house like that, long life they are getting, even though they are making in the bamboo house itself. So we can't understand their lifestyle, or we know they are having some of the celebrations, and in movies it is usually showing like that when they are having the harvest, hunting and gathering people, they after the hunting they are having the celebration. Why it is, what it is, that we can't understand, because they want to share. If they got one small animal or big animal, they want to share with all the communities. When I was working in Maharashtra, there was one tribal group, they are having a particular celebration in once in a 101 years, every 100 and after 100 years, then next first year they will celebrate a celebration. That time they want to catch the what it is pigs, forest pigs they want to catch. That not in a with any other weapons like a gun or anything, no, not like that. All the people, the gents members of the community, they will go to the forest together with some of the sticks, and they are making some particular sound, and they want to catch that want to make the pig to run that for kilometers and kilometers. The people also want to run behind the particular animal for and when it is becoming tired, that time live animal they want to catch and to bring to that particular temple. We can say call it temple, or not like our temple, but it is entirely different, but they want to bring to temple, and they are making some pujas. Afterwards they are cutting and making the food with that particular animal, and they are together. They all the even the small kids and everyone will grandparents or great grandparents, all together they will come and having that one. The number of the families very less now, and the work even of 12 years 13 years boys also including in this gents members, those who are going and catching the pig. They can't kill and bring, they want to bring the animal life. For that purpose they will make the pig to run kilometers and kilometers. Then afterwards when it is tired, that time they will catch and bring. Like that many rich cultures they are having. And if you are showing seeing their respect, or how they are giving respect to the society, not among themselves, or if somebody is sick, they won't allow that person to go and stay. For example, some mentally retarded people are there, or handicapped without hand and leg. They won't send them away from their community. They are making that person to live in their community itself, and they will provide some food or clothing or some job to that particular person. Like that they are taking care. Like that things if you are seeing, are we thinking like that in our home, like that one child is there who is physically handicapped, blind, and we are thinking like that we will send that person to a particular school, special school for blind, like that. But that people, they won't do like that. Then next part, it is Adivasi and development. As you have already read in your history textbook, forests were absolutely crucial to the development of empires and the settled cultivation in India. Metal ores like iron and copper and the gold and silver, coals and diamonds, invaluable timber, most medicinal herbs, and the animal products like wax, lac, honey, and animal themselves, elephants, the mainstay of the imperial armies, all came from the forest. When we are looking to the history book of not only 6 to 8 standard, we can see that one, what the empires use, horse or elephant, like that things, everything from where they got, they are getting from the forest. And if you are looking to the mines, already we have read in this lesson itself, mines, it was under the in the forest area, in the Jharkhand, Orissa area, that everything it was coming from the forest. And in addition, the continuation of life depends heavily on forest. That helps recharge many India's rivers, and as becoming clearer now, crucial to the availability and the quality of our air and water. The forest not only giving this much valuable things, but which is helping to live day-to-day life with water, oxygen, like that was receiving from forest. And nowadays we are giving threat to the forest, that's why forest also giving threat to us. Then forest covered a major part of our country till the 19th century, and the Adivasi had a deep knowledge of, access to, as well as control over the most of these vast tracts, at least till the middle of the 19th century. When the industrial development started, up to that time it was in the hands of the Adivasi people. What? Forest. This meant that they were not ruled by a large states and empires. Instead of often empires heavily depend on Adivasi for crucial access to the forest resources. We have seen the Mughal kings, they use the nomadic what we can say, nomadic tribal group to bring their things or to send their grains to other parts of the country. Then this is radically contrary to our image of Adivasi today as somewhat marginal and powerless communities. In the pre-colonial world, they were traditionally ranged hunters and gatherers and nomads, and lived by shifting agriculture and also cultivating in one place. Although this remains for past 200 years, Adivasi has been increasingly forced through economic changes, forest policies, and political force applied by the states and private industry to migrate to lives of as workers in plantations, as construction sites in the industries, and as a domestic workers. In the first time in the history, they do not control or have much direct access to the forest territories. Now when the forest laws made by the British people, that we have seen in 3rd, 4th lessons of history, how they affected because of the forest policy and other things, and how they got the compulsion because of the forest policy. They can't enter into the forest. They getting the compulsion to reach go to the other places to in search of job, and like plantations, construction site, industries, domestic workers, like that. What the grandfather is explaining to his grandchildren about the Adivasi life was in Orissa in the picture story. Okay, we will continue in next video next day. Thank you. Have a nice day.